Okay, good morning traders. Welcome to TradeSetup, and it's the live stream for the 26th of October. Okay, we're going to have a bit of a squeeze through the markets, see what happened overnight, and just checking how the market's going on the open today. Has been sold off quite hard actually, so we'll take a look at that. And as usual, feel free to send any charts through. You can either send them through email if you want something to look at, just some trades you want to go over. That's support@tradesetup.com.au. Or you can just whack them onto chat just to take a look at. Mainly we're sort of focused on obviously technicals, and we're focused on ASX stocks at the moment, but you can also feel free to send through some forex or Aussie dollar or something like that if you want, or just some futures if you just there's something you want to have a question, because it's all technical. We're going to view that on a technical basis, so yeah, feel free to whack through anything through chat. If we're having any issues with the stream, just had an issue just before, just let me know, just whack it into chat. So if everyone's good to go, we'll get started. Okay, it looks like it's connected again. Just give it a minute, it should pop up again. Okay, good. Okay, it looks like we're back online again. I don't know what's wrong with the streaming there. Yeah, but I'll just keep an eye on that. So if it does just drop out, let us know. All right, so looking at the ASX, we had obviously a push down on the open yesterday. Big strong push down, then found some support, major support, and then just bounced off there into the close. Sorry, that wasn't yesterday. That was actually it was Monday, and then we popped up on the open, and then just did the reverse yesterday. So now it looks like we've opened down quite strong. So it really just looks like there's a bit of argy-bargy going on. We hit up towards that resistance level we discussed yesterday. We did wash that out just on the open. After the open, we made that lower high, just at that resistance, just a minor retest, and then we sort of dragged our feet for the rest of the day and just sort of still held those highs into the close, but just sold off, just gradually wound down into the close there. So it looks like it's we could potentially expect a bit of this action today. It's opened down quite weak. We might find some support down here around that 5400 mark, and then just pop up into the close. If it's echoing, Paul, I'm not sure it's on this side or it's on my side there. Let me just. It shouldn't be echoing anyway. All right, just keep an eye on it, guys. Yeah, so we should be finding some support down at that 5400 zone. We'll see how that goes. It could be a bit of a hard sell-off. Then, if we get that high low build, we could just work our way back up into the close. But at the moment, that's quite a decent sell-off into the open. So that price action there, it could potentially just be a double top up there. We found that resistance level and then selling off. Or it could just get that nice big rounding bottom, what we're looking for. We've got a low here, a lower low, bit more of a washout. So, and we've sort of washed out down towards that 53.70. If you can see that way back here, we can't get that in. Anyway, excuse me. And we could just be making a higher low above 53.90, 5400 in that sort of area there. Just bounce in there and then just work our way back up into the close. Let's just look at. So really we are, the daily could be either, it's that little washout that is really just, it's a better sign. You've got this little washout here, which I don't mind that sign just for this level to kind of hold and then push up, but it's also just hit up against that 54.50 zone. So it'd be interesting to see if this is a lower high below 5500 and we just wash out these. We tried once, it got rejected. We may be heading down to retest that zone or just blow straight through it, because the stochastics are sort of heading down, heading to the oversold. So we'll see if they can hold up, or it could just be a bit of divergence, go down, retest it, and bounce up we go. So yeah, at the moment, last few days have been more in consolidation, stuck in between that range. We'll see how that plays out. It could be a bit of this action. If you're looking back in August, sell off, push back up, go down to retest it, and then just sort of consolidate for a bit, pop out the highs, and then roll over. We don't know what's going to happen, and this could just prove a major lower high and continue way down, if that makes sense. But really, that daily trend is still higher. Yeah, true. It is a bit of an each way bet just at the moment, so you just got to be careful really when when you're entering long positions. You got to just try to pick quality setups. It doesn't mean there's nothing to say the market can head lower, and a lot of these stocks can still head higher quite strong. It's just when you get those, I guess, out of the blue situations like a GFC or something that just can smack the market and no one sees it coming, which could really just get that general sell off across the board. But really, we are still holding that daily trend up. It's this high low 5200, which is a key level. And anyone that I think we've spoken quite a bit before, and let's just look at it on a daily basis on another chart. Straight 200. Let's just get it up. Yeah, so we'll just mark up it on a daily. Mark it up here. Sorry guys, just takes a bit for this to load up. Looks like it could be my side of things here. I'm wondering. Okay, so you can see that trend up is holding. We've got the high lows building, and really the key level is 5150. Now, if we do get down to there, I'd say that overall trend is really broken. We need to hold up. We could easily push down, but hold up around 53, 53.50 in that zone there, which is still, it's a fair way on the downside to go. We could still hold up there, and we're holding that daily trend and just build that that higher low above 5150. Just basically an inside high low between 56.10, so that's the key high, and the key low at the moment is 51.50. You can build it inside that level and then go. If you can see this type of price action, I've got a lot of rubbish on there, but anyway, you can see this type of price action more. Let's just drill it down. Alright, so we could just head lower, and then what you want to see is those failed continuation lower and then go. That's what could happen. We don't know yet. It's really just, we're in that zone where, well, look, anything can happen. It could pop out the downside, just work its way down, and we still hold trend, build that around 53 to 53.50, build a higher low, failed continuation there, and bang. It didn't quite happen in this situation here. You sort of popped down, pushed up, and we had a minor go at it again on the daily basis, and then just ground up from there. Way back here, similar type scenario. Push down, bounce off, building that higher low, retested it, and then inside higher low there, and we've just gone. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. All right, we'll just drill down, and you can see that savage sell-off on the open there, which wasn't too pretty. We've taken out that key level at 54.08. Excuse me. I don't sort of feel that we can continue from here. It's going to be a big effort to really extend down on the open, and then bounce, do a minor bounce, and then roll over and head south again. I think that's a big effort. So I think potentially we've seen the lows of 53.95 for the day, and it could be that in reverse. Spike up, wash out, pull back, build that lower high, but in this case a higher low. If we can just get that chart in there again. So something like this, maybe go retest that zone, build that high low, a bit of contraction, and then just work our way up into the close. We don't know, but that's just the type of action you want to see. So you can go down to the lower time frames. 30 minutes quite low, really. I tend to go down to 5 anyway, just to check out what's happening and whether we are getting that failed push lower. If things are oversold, they're getting oversold, oversold now. So I think it's more of a major high low here, especially after that washout. So it'd be interesting to see. We'll just keep an eye on that anyway, but it's something just to watch going forward. Let's look at the Aussie dollar. We had a bit of a chat about this morning in the morning alert, morning jumpstart. That I feel is starting to hold higher lows. Could just be holding 76.40 and then pop up. But if anyone's trading, let's just be careful, because it all looks good, and then it could just grind its way higher all the way until 4 o'clock when Europe starts to open, and then find that base, wash people out on the anyone that's been trying to go long all day, thinking that it's going to go up. Just really just watching your setups and be clean on those setups. Just really, so if you're going long, this is an hourly chart. I tend to go down to the lower time frames, have a bit of a nibble and see what happens, and just try to get that a bit of a washout first. I like to see washouts on the downside, wash out a few short positions, and then bounce back, and then failed lows again. Pushing and to make those higher lows and minor higher lows, and then try to get into a long position and see if they can engineer a move higher. But yeah, the Aussie at the moment it's just pushed up against 76.50, which is a key level. Washed that out, so really just in a bit of back and fill, contraction back lower. I think the next key level is sort of this 76.20 zone. If we can hold up above there and build that higher low, then I think overnight you'll see it push higher. Gold. Gold's interesting. So we've got the daily, which is getting to overbought. This is a 4-hourly chart. It's getting to overbought. So if you're a bit of a gold bug, just be careful. Excuse me. Just be careful. We're not. Anything can happen. I know it could stay overbought. Anything can happen there, but it's just the probability of continuing higher is getting a bit tough. And this type of action, it's come down hard. It's touched down a few levels. It's washed out sort of the anchor for this trend down. That was about 1265. It washed that out. It's come back, sort of retest below that, build that high low and go. But this type of price action is more just we like to call it back and fill. So you got that strong move down, expanded down, and then just back and fill as we contract. So going back up, building higher lows, that type of action until you get that failed. That's sort of the main thing you're going to be looking for. So you're getting back and fill. Sooner or later you're going to get a lower high where it just can't continue to keep going. You've done that good correction of that leg up, 1/3 to 2/3 as a rule of thumb, correcting that leg up and then rolling over. So from there, if we do start seeing that price action, that's sort of what I expect. From there, it's going to be targeting 1248 again, potentially on a daily basis, even looking at the 4-hourly charts. We have got that washout, so there's a bit of a washout there, which could be a precursor to a bigger move lower, or it's just a washout back and fill. It could easily pull up short, build that major high low, excuse me, and then from there go. So if we get this type of price action and then maybe another move lower, and then we just get that reverse, price action there to go higher. So this is, if you're going to look at selling off a lower high there, a shoulder trade we call it, and then looking for that push down, you don't know where it's going to go, and just try to follow it down. If you start seeing signs of weakness or strength coming in, buyers starting to step in, and that failed high low, that's a failed continuation lower, then okay, look to exit. See if you can you're more than likely going to have something up your sleeve to work from. So a bit of profit tucked away. Excuse me. Then have a touch of coffee. Okay, so does that make sense to everyone there? Just the way to look at it. From there, we don't know. We're expecting a bit of back and fill, and then we don't know if it's just going to keep grinding high, but probability is saying we're hitting overbought on this chart. So we do expect a bit of if this is going to continue high, we expect a pullback. Now, we don't know if that pullback from that price action is going to continue lower straight through 1248, or it's going to pull up short, build a major high low, and then it's going to turn around and go straight back up through 1305. All we can do is trade it and just manage as we go, manage our risk as we go. And there's no reason why you can't, do a good little trade in here. You've got your lower high, you've sold into it, you know what your risk is, and then just wind it down. It could just go bang straight through. Then fantastic. Then your next target's towards 1200, or it can just pull up short, like we said, and then maybe you just want to flip it over and go long, because that's not a bad little sign. It's that 1248 is going to hold longer term, and then you get that deeper move high. Well, I guess deeper contraction of this move down, up, down. So all that's like contractive action, and then potentially this level, sort of that resistance level to hold. Okay, let's take a look at back to the ASX here. Let's just see how that's going. Yeah, a bit of action there. I expected a bit of sideways action there at the moment, just because it's such a good sell-off there. So we might be getting some buyers stepping in. Who knows from here? But really, just got to play it as you see it. Now, Just going through a few things we've got going. Westpac still looking good. Still expecting that, maybe just that reaction off 31, which we're getting today, sort of pushed up in there. So we basically got our entry set up. We're looking for an entry around 65, 30, 65. It did open at 75, I think. So nice little entry at 75. We're roughly at that zone there. But this price action, if you go back to the weekly, looks really nice. You're starting to get that curving bottom. So ways to look at this. We don't know what's happening, obviously. We don't know if that's going to continue. It's going to turn and it's found a base here and it's going to push up and take out some of these lower highs, or whether those lower highs are going to keep the pressure on and we're going to take out this higher low in here. My bet is that we've, on the weekly we're starting to go to overbought, so we could just put pressure on any of these shorts that are built up here. We might get buyers step in. We've got a good base at 28 thereabouts. Got a high low formed around the 29 mark. So all those signs added together quite good. You can see on the monthly, we've had a push up, correction, and we've sort of consolidated, contraction in, and we've had another good leg up, and we could just be this type of action, or we could just be bouncing up, made that major lower high, and then rolling over. Either way, we're going to get something up our sleeve. If it just rolls over from here, okay, we've had a go, and it hasn't worked out. But just by looking at this price action, you've got a major low, higher low holding, and then that's holding because you've made a like an inside higher low here, another higher low here, and then we're just looking to attack 31, potentially wash out that 31.50 and above. JPN, that's the index, isn't it? Let me just have a quick look at that then. See if we can get that up. I'm not sure if I can just get that up right now. Just see what that looks like. I haven't looked at it for a long time, so yeah. So feel free, guys, to just send through some a few notes in there. Any stocks or anything you want to look at. Just have a quick look. We'll go to the daily. Just have a bit of a broad look at it. Okay, that to me doesn't look bad. If let's just mark it up here, longer term. So we've had that good push higher, okay, which we can see obviously. Price of rollover have made a lower high in here. Just mark all these up. Okay, just build the picture obviously. Okay, major lower high in here, so that's a high we're working from here. Price is pushing down. Good thing is we've got a good zone just in here, which it looks like it's working off at the moment. And this type of price structure I don't mind at all. It looks like it could extend easily if it is a matter of just backing and filling. We've pushed up, we've had another retest of that low and it's starting to fail, so we're holding higher lows, which is always good. You always want to see that type of price action. If all this is making sense, holding higher lows, and we could just extend into that 17,707 mark, and then from there just push straight up. Okay, so we've got a few things to look at there. So I don't necessarily think on a daily basis hitting support. If this is what you're looking at there, is it cable digital? If that's what you're looking at, it looks like it's just bouncing off this, and this type of price action quite good. You've got a nice double bottom, high lows holding, and that could just extend. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Just if we get into, if we can just go there, if we can just get into that sort of, if we build that higher low, or if we do that type of price action and we're heading low, and that's a major, that's then the pressure's on the downside obviously, or we just sort of we could from there push up, blow it right out of the water, come back in, build that high low, and then go. So that's sort of the scenario you want to be looking at. Whether we just touch through it, wash it out, pull back. So if you wash it out, you expect a deeper correction, building that. But if we just roll over from there, then I think that's a major double top, and then we start attacking some of these high lows. 1 minute chart, or completely different charts here. All right. All right, let's start. Let's just see if we can get through some of these here. Um, so we've got PME. Okay. Well, this one here, we'll quickly draw it up. Now, if someone's looking at PME just here, so we'll just get it in. On a weekly basis, it's extended quite high, but it's nothing to say that it can't keep going. Okay, you just got to keep that in the back of your mind. Weekly basis also pulled back quite strong down. It's had a good little pullback on the weekly basis. So we drill that down. We go to the daily. So we really just, you want to be sort of looking for an area to enter a potential entry setup. So if we go to our little tool here, just looking at that. Okay, let's go. So we've got, this type of price action, supports, holds, breakout. You've got a good little zone in here. That was a good one to buy. We've got that major trend is higher. Now we're just getting that correction at the moment. It'd be interesting to see if this is, technically not a bad place to pull up, and it has just sort of touched down there at $5 or thereabouts, in that zone there. Got to oversold, and it has just reacted off that zone. So now what we would want to see, if that was going to hold up, ideally you just want to see this type of price action that's come in, from this point up here, come in, we sort of push down, pull back, make the lower high, and then we sort of push down to 5. You can see that's a $5 level just in here. Now we're at that stage there, so we don't know if this trend down is going to hold, but if we start getting some price action, a bit more consolidation like that, you'd expect to pop out, a higher lows to start holding. If we start seeing higher lows come in, then we want to look to the top side and potentially an entry setup, because the weekly is in a good zone. Just remembering the weekly, the longer term time frame. So we've got to go, at the moment we're contracting, and we want to get that. We've got this here, contraction down into expansion, and potentially just there was a good little setup. We want to see that similar type of price action, contraction, high lows holding, and then pop up. Okay, let's got something else there. PME AYS. Okay, AYS, be an interesting one there. Okay, so that's fairly new, I'd say. Not a big stock. You can see that move's just really just grinding higher. It's holding higher lows, but that type of price action, it hasn't. Every time it takes out that higher low, you can see here it's had it. Obviously, we've moved up. We just go from the left-hand side of the chart. Excuse me. We've moved up, had a bit of correction, had a good strong move up. Whether that's the back of news, I don't know. And then sold off really hard. So we've taken out those lows, and now what we look like we're doing here is just trying to find the base. That's a good solid washout. You can see that big rejection of it's 130. We've had a crack at retesting it, and we couldn't. Made a lower high in here, pulled back, made a higher low. So you can see through here, buyers are stepping in. Now we don't know what price action. The thing is, every time buyers are stepping in, they just can't get through, those lower highs. So just in here, a bit of a push through. It wasn't a serious push through. It's pulled back right back in within that range. So yeah, this is not got a lot of conviction, but the buyers are stepping in. So potentially early days, you might get a grind up and then roll over, retest one of these lows here at 180 or so, or even in that sort of zone, and then go. But if you're going to attack this, if you're intent on buying it, just trying to follow that. Don't buy on a breakout there purely because it hasn't followed. It hasn't gone on with it with any strength. You want to essentially see a bit of contraction lower. If it does pop up, look for that contraction lower, and then look for an entry. Didn't work out here because we got a gap up, obviously, but just in here would have been a good little buy. But I think either way that price action is going to be nice and slow by the looks of it. Let's look at RXP. Oh, that looks good. Doesn't look bad at all. Let's just go see what a weekly's got for us. I'd say on a weekly basis, it's getting a bit extended. You've had a good push up here, go into oversold, pull back, built a bit of a base in here, just sort of retesting in this zone, 80 cents, and then gone on. So with that, to me, there's no reason why it can't go. It's just and it's doing a similar type of price action on the daily as well. You've got a consolidation that's just edged high, pushed up, washed out that high, pulled back, gone again. Like I said, there's no reason for it to go, but personally, I don't like to buy when things are starting to look at they've extended, and also that's not the unknown where we like to trade. We want to be trading potentially in this type of zone. You've had that push up, a contraction lower, taken out a few minor lows, retested a level here, building higher lows but still holding lower highs. Then we just washed out these inside levels. You can see just in here, and then hold a higher low there, say 52.5. So that's more to me the unknown. So you're going to be attacking this level. You don't know what's going to happen up there. So we pushed up and out. We've got some profit locked in, and then obviously the rest is history. It did go on with it, but by the time you're getting up, sort of it could be at the end of a leg now where it was just up here. You just want to be careful. I think you want to do a bit of contraction, pulling back, washing out some late longs. Anyone that sort of bought it up here, you want them to get washed out, get to a stage where this level's holding. 77.5 could hold, potentially 87, 85, 90, in that zone there. Pull back, bit of contraction, you start seeing some high lows, and then potentially looking at a buy entry. But yeah, just at the moment, I'm a bit wary to be buying in that sort of extended market. Just a quick look. SHV, have we looked at that select harvest, isn't it? Yeah, that to me longer term, Sharon, is still just really contracting. I don't mind it. It hasn't got beautiful price action, and then you got a major high here, lower high. We have made a lower low than compared to this level, so that trend up is broken. So really, I think we've got some longer term contraction. So I think there's a fair bit of work with this to do. Excuse me, voice is not so good this morning. Yeah, I think we've got a fair bit of work to do just yet. If we can mark that one up, let's just mark it up on here. So to me, yeah, the market is pushed down. We've formed the base, and it hasn't confirmed yet. For that higher low to be confirmed, it needs really to take out that level, because it could easily just roll over from here. So we've got this type of price action has come down to this level. We've had that push up. We've found a lower, and we've had all this is inside, so it could just be going like this, and then you want it to break, and as soon as we get that break through an inside level, that's where you'll be okay. Next step up, you're looking there. Then you're looking up towards, well, that's not very good, if you know what I mean, looking up towards that high. But at the moment, we don't know if it's just going to contract further. We don't know what's going to happen. It hasn't shown any significant holding a significant level. But at the moment, you've had potentially this is all just that move. 1, 2, 3. 1. Well, that's not very good. 1. Get myself confused. So we get that push down to here. That's that level just down here. Push up, so it's just contracting. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Clement, can you have a look at KMD? I hope I'm getting to the bottom of that stream there. Oh, that's all right. I just want to make sure there was no more chat left on the bottom of that. So what do we got there? KMD. Hope this is helping, guys. Just let me know if you still got a couple of questions on just what we're discussing there. KMD, okay. All right, let's go to the weekly. Let's just draw up the weekly first. Who was I saying? Clement. We'll just have a bit of a look at that weekly first. So you got something to reference, I guess. Just putting in all the levels, there's significant levels we can see. Obviously, we've got a low down here. We're starting to hold higher lows. You got another one just in here. Higher low there. again, that was only confirmed. That's only a higher low once you break out there. Okay, it's not a higher low if we're somewhere still below this resistance level. As soon as we pop out, we're starting to hold higher lows, and then you can see major level through there. Yeah, so we've gone out of consolidation there, just gone bang straight through, made these highs, and we pulled back in that consolidation, massive consolidation area there. But we're still potentially just holding it longer term, holding this major low at a dollar 10, even up towards a dollar. I think it's $25. We don't know if we're going to find a bit of resistance up here. We've actually got a reaction off that level. What's that? Around the $2 mark. So now we just got to assess it and to see what could happen. We could just pull back to this $1.60 on a weekly basis and then head higher. You can see these stochastics. We'd like to look at that, the strength of a move. So this move down is getting a bit of strength. So if we can come down to oversold, but we hold up above $1.60, okay, I think we're getting to a stage where you might want to be looking at it, and it could potentially build that base in there. So if we go to just quickly set up our daily chart. So remembering all that, I think it's a $2 level. Just take into account that sort of price action. Let's just go to a daily and try to mark that up. Okay, so right here, we know we've got a big level up at the $2. You can see that big washout, major rejection there. So this is why you never, I just try to encourage people never to buy on a breakout. It's good to buy on a breakout if you're within some highs and lows, you're inside highs, inside lows, not when you're getting up to a good resistance zone. It's not a major, well, just remembering that weekly, it's not a major level because it has been broken. In here we got washed out, but it's going to potentially provide an area where there's going to be a bit of reaction, and especially when you're heading up into it on a weekly basis, you're getting overbought, well overbought. Okay, so you just got to remember that. So this leg up here is quite extended. All right, we haven't had any major correction. If you sort of pull up short, pull back, this type of price action, get some good correction below somewhere in here, then that could take us well up through $2 quite easily, but it didn't happen. It's just gone straight up, projected, bit of consolidation, wash it out, and then we're rolling over. Okay, so if we just take all this off, so from here I would want to see it potentially coming back down to that, I don't know if I've got that it's 260, yeah, 260. Okay, so I just want to see some price action. We've gone up to this high, we've had that washout, major washout, then we're starting to make, we want to see this type of price action, lower highs, maybe working our way down. We could have that, big washout and then starting to hold higher lows, and that's what you want to see. That's not the best drawing. I didn't pass art in high school. That's what you want to see, those higher lows and then that break, and you want to be buying into this sort of, because you're within that contraction and you're looking for expansion. So you always try to keep that in your back head, contraction to expansion. Do we look at KMD there? Oh, I got the wrong one. KMD, no, got that there. That's good. Yeah, so that doesn't look too bad. Thanks, Clement. Always like those comments, they're good. Yeah, so that's sort of what we're looking on there, that basis there. So just buying in here, just random buying, you haven't got the price structure. You just want it behind you. You don't want to try to second guess. You want to see that price structure first to build your trade. Like I said before, if you don't see it, just don't trade. It's not the only stock out there. Probably the hardest work to do with trading is just searching and just getting, obviously it's a bit of discipline, not falling in love with anything. If you don't see it, if you can't make sense of it, keep away. Most of the time, if you see something that stands out pretty strong, what you're looking for anyway. But what we're starting to see here is a bit of contraction. We can start assuming that that's breaking through that low after that washout. So we're expecting contraction. So we know this is something to keep an eye on. We don't know what's going to happen from here, but if before that, as it's going up, it's a bit hard to trade, especially in this mark. If you're looking around there, to me that's well and truly the known. We're not trading in the unknown. We want to be trading in the unknown, potentially where it's going from contraction to expansion. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. All right. Anything else there, guys? Let's just go through. Alright, Westpac's still, we've got a good resistance. If it gets through 30, okay, we're wrong. We'll see how that goes. Qantas is not looking the best right now, I've got to admit that. We'll see if that could potentially just roll over. We do want it to see, I just want it to hold above 310. And if it can't do that, we're going to be wrong on this one. We had a short on that. We took a little bit of profit on that, but you can see that price action wasn't conducive to a good short, so we bailed on that. But at the moment, it looks like it's just more consolidation, bit of sideways action there. So on the weekly, it could easily just pop through there and wash out. So we could be on the. It just doesn't look that great on the daily. For a short, it looked good on the long side, but really thought we'd take out that in this zone here, take out 330. But we'll see how that goes. What else we got? We alerted this yesterday at 580, so we're getting that's going well. 589. So for anyone that doesn't, well, let's just load that up. Anyone that doesn't follow us on the alerts, we were long. I think it's somewhere in here. I could never quite remember. I think it's in this breakout in here, and we're looking for that. And you can see, let's just draw it up. Just a bit of a psychology of what we're doing behind that. That's our daily chart. This chart to me looked beautiful. Just what we've been discussing, high lows, contraction and expansion. You've got that contraction lower, you've taken out this level, you've got you got that lower low in there, just of this leg down, and then you've got a pop up. So it's popped up, retested this, built the high low, fantastic, great little entry just in here. Okay, nice breakout, and you've got that extension up, targeting, it's gone straight through that high. Alright, again, same thing through here, your big washout. So if you're looking at it at this stage, as soon as you get that type of price action rejection and the day finishes positive, that to me is a great sign. It's just really anyone that was thinking about short or getting out of this as it's pulling back, it's just been washed out completely. And that type of price action in the next few days was just, within that range. That's good. And then you start getting that, that push up here. Obviously, it finished below that resistance line, but that's a good trade. And you can see the actual gap up in the open. A bit hard to trade that in there, that setup, but further along is pretty much where we got in. So all this price action to us was looking great. You've got that inside high, inside this high. Okay, so just trying to build this picture. Major resistance coming up here, and by this stage we can see that. And we go, okay, if this is going to hold, and it breaks out through here, we want to be in, because our premise is that it's going to attack this high, and then attack up to here, which it did, and potential continuation of this major trend up, to make another major higher high, which it did up here, and that's, I think we got washed out of that somewhere around. We took a profit around the 580, 590. Even around this zone up here. Then we had our remaining risk, which we got hit on that. We had that pushed down to, I think it was at 560 actually. So we've had that pushed down. So now what we're looking at yesterday is that it's pulled back. It's still holding that trend up with that push down to below 540, and then it's popped up, and we were looking at it in here. That is just showing some really good strength. Especially on the weekly too. If you look at it on the weekly, it's showing nice strength, and we just wanted to be in that. And you got tight risk. You can just trade it with a push through 580, which it did yesterday. Our risk is held just down here. It's a very small risk, and at the moment we're targeting this high. You can see, and we're potentially going to go through that today. So, yeah, we really like that. That was a long-winded effort. So, but just something you can see how you're building your picture and what you're looking for. This is trending up. You're looking from contraction to expansion, and then you set up contraction, going into expansion, and then a setup. We didn't quite get a good one up until here. The same, contraction. We're looking. It's popped up. We're expecting going into expansion. Where do we want to buy? Okay. Yeah, Paul. Searching is indeed a challenge. How do I go about searching all available stocks? We use Spark here. It's what I find. There's nothing for me that beats just going through that. Just doing this type of thing, I got my, what was that? You got my setups there. My stocks, say for example, I've got if we just go through, Only it's excuse me, it's a very minor filter. So all the ASX stocks there, you can pick volume, what's rising, what's falling, last 15 minutes. So we've got a few different things we look at, but basically it doesn't filter it on MACDs or anything like that. It's just pure price action we look at it, and then it's just a matter of just probably once a week flicking through quite a few. Because what we're not going to see, don't forget, if it's not rising, it doesn't mean anything. It could, and it depends on what basis. I don't know how if that's rising in the last 15 minutes, or it doesn't say has it been going up in the last few days or whatever. So all we're trying to do is just go through and look for that contraction. So we're trying to find something that looks good. Um, Obviously we know we can flick through from weekly to daily, just trying to build that picture, and ultimately we want to see this contraction, maybe not daily, but the weekly trend is still high, like this one for example. What's that, RRL? Um, so from here we've pushed up. We haven't contracted this leg, so I expect some major contraction on that one anyway. But that the most recent trend all year, it's been going up on RNL. Okay, what's happening? We've pulled back. We're oversold in the weekly. Okay, we potentially could be coming into a buy zone. What's the daily doing? Contracting lower. So we need just to really keep this on our watch, just to see if we get our setup and just keep an eye on it. But really, there's not much more from doing it that way. Yeah, it is. Spark you can subscribe to. I keep forgetting the website to go to. But if you Google Spark, it'll come up under something else. I don't know if the platform, but the website. Look, I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, just have a look at Spark. Even send an email through just to remind me to support it, TradeSetup, and I'll see if I can find the actual website to go to and just have a look at it. I mean, it's not the cheapest package. I mean, you can get free data, but this is pure stock data, so it's quite good for us. We really like this. Yeah, so pretty much that's the way we you don't need to be going through everything every day. I like to build a list of something that looks good. Yeah, market analyst. I've never used that, to be honest, but what I'm finding, I don't know if it's coming. I don't know what they do, market analyst. I don't know how you can go about your scans. I know with the US, I also use Interactive Brokers, and they've got a good little scanning. Technical trading. Yep. So I know Interactive Brokers, for instance, it's mainly to do with the US or US stocks. They have a lot of good parameters. You can just type in a whole lot of parameters, build it in your scan, and then just go and hit the market and scan it. But it doesn't do ASX for some reason, and we don't have anything quite like it. Iguana 2. That's it. Yeah, that's for Spark. So what were we saying? We can't build in those similar type of scans that we've got for the US. So um, yeah, there's nothing that I know of just at the moment that can do a good scan that you can set up your parameters just to scan, and you just want to build, whether it's daily or potentially weekly, just build up a set that you want to look at and keep an eye on, put them on a watch list, and then just looking for those setups, something that's got potential good, good strong moves. So at the moment, this is how we do it. We just go through and just flick on the charts potentially once a week, pick through a few that we like, put them on the list, and then just follow them that way. Telstra's one that we're looking at as a short. It's getting there. We've got a 499. It's 50102. We'll see if they can roll over. Okay. Any other questions, guys? I think we'll call it a day there. But yeah, like I said, thanks very much for joining. Anything you want to look at, or you think you might want to have a look at tomorrow morning, just feel free to put it into chat or just send through. If there's something, if there's a trade that you've had, you don't know why it didn't work, or something you were looking at that you got hit on, or even if a trade that worked, you just want to show something, put it up there and just have it analysed, by a third set of eyes or second set of eyes. Just put it through to support at tradesetup.com.au. I'm not that clever. That's my problem. Yeah, so just send it through to support at tradesetup.com.au, and then we'll have a bit of a look at the trades. We've got a whole lot of trades we've gone through. We've got a whole lot of charts. Basically, any trade we do, I keep a chart of, and it's just good for referencing too down the track. Just to see what you did, just to keep you focused on the setups. I always do that. I even quite a lot when I'm trading the futures on the SPY, for instance, or any futures. I like to just especially if you're trading intraday, I like to just go through probably the end of the session, just mark up a daily chart, but look at a 5-minute chart and I'll just mark up what potential entries, just to keep you focused on the same thing over and over again, and get it. Just, I guess it makes it easier in the future. If you looked at it so much in the past, it makes it easy to recognize that something's setting up in the future. So it's probably a good habit, and remembering prepping a market is always a good habit to do. All right, thanks very much, guys. We'll call it a day, and look forward to doing the same thing and speaking to you tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Bye.